Hi there, welcome to Zen English. My name is Harry and I will be a guest teacher here on Zen English. I have my own YouTube channel, Learn English with Harry, and you'll find a link in the description below. And the lesson today is a lesson about collocations, and in particular, the collocations dealing with emotions. Okay, so I'll give you a list of these collocations and then I'll go through them one by one and give you some examples, and hopefully you'll get a better understanding as to how to use them. So I've got 8 of them, okay? Collocations with or about emotions. To hide your emotions. To be overcome with emotion. Overwhelming emotion. Pent up emotions. To show your emotions. Raw emotion. To be full of emotion. And then finally, to be choked with emotion. Now, emotion is usually about feelings, and we show our emotions in many, many different ways. Some people show their emotions more easily than others. Some bottle up their emotions and don't let them out until it's too late, and then they explode. But in some ways, we've all had experiences of emotions and how we have shown or demonstrated our emotions. So let me go through these collocations with you one by one. So the first, to hide your emotions. So as I was saying at the beginning, some people bottle up or hide their emotions. They don't like or let people see how they are feeling. So if you say something to them that upsets them, or you say something to them inadvertently that insults them, they won't let you see how they feel. They won't let you see a reaction if they can help it. So they bottle up or they hide their emotions, okay? Some people don't like showing them emotions because they feel it's a sign of weakness. So men traditionally didn't cry, and that crying is an emotion. And men traditionally, when I was growing up, your father always told you, don't cry. Boys don't cry, okay? So that's what was beaten into you, or it was told to you, or you were trained not to show emotion. So as you grew older, well, you didn't. If something happened, you didn't show those emotions. You didn't cry, to hide your emotions. Next, to be overcome with emotion. Well, if you're overcome with something, it means you can't stop. So you could be overcome with happy emotions, or you could be overcome with sad emotions. So somebody is playing in his 1000th tennis match and he wins the game and wins the championship, and when he hits the final point and he realizes that he's made that real jump, then he's ecstatic. So he's overcome with emotion. So he throws himself onto the ground and he spreads his arms and his legs out, and he has the adulation of the crowd, and he gets to his feet and he puts his head in his hands. He can't really believe what has happened. So he's overcome with emotions. And when it comes to the interview, perhaps he has a few tears in his eyes. He has a little bit of a weakness in his voice because he's not quite sure how to express himself, because he's genuinely overcome with emotion. So that's in a happy sense, but somebody could be overcome with emotion in a sad way also. Somebody's pet that he has loved and treasured for many years dies, and he has to take the dog to the vet to say goodbye, and for the vet to give it a little injection for it to pass on to a better life. So in that situation, he too or she too could be overcome with emotion. But in this case, it's overcome with sad emotions. Okay, so overcome with emotion can be overcome with happy emotions, or indeed overcome with sad emotions. Next, overwhelming emotions. Well, something that's overwhelming is something that you really can't control, that you really feel is just a little bit too much. Okay, so when you're overwhelmed by something, you're really surprised. You might be overwhelmed by the response you get from people for your birthday, perhaps. You get many, many well wishes. You get many, many birthday cards. You get a few gifts left on your desk, a few text messages from your friends, and you're completely overwhelmed by the reaction of people. So yeah, you might have a little tear, a little lump in your throat, as they say, and you're overwhelmed with the emotion of the occasion. Okay, overwhelmed with emotion when people wish you luck because you're emigrating. You're going to find a new life somewhere with your family, and people are really, really happy for you, but sad in some ways to see you go. So you could be overwhelmed or feel or experience overwhelming emotions. Something is just a little bit too much for you to deal with. Pent up emotions. When something is pent up, it's built up for a long time and you haven't really let it out. So we were talking earlier on about controlling your emotions or hiding your emotions, or as we said, to bottle up those emotions. So if you're one of those people who bottles up their emotions, someday, you don't know where, don't know when, it's probably going to explode. And that type of emotion is the pent-up emotion, emotions that have been building up over a period of time. And like the volcano, it's dormant for a while, but then suddenly it's going to explode. And yeah, you're going to feel it all, the full force of those pent-up emotions. But, occasionally it's not such a bad idea to let it out. Perhaps you need to go to that top of the mountain and just scream your head off. Go into that desert and scream your lungs out so that nobody will actually hear you. Go into the forest and scream and shout. But it gets you away from that problem with having pent up emotions. Like a balloon, when you stick a pin in it, it'll burst. Okay, so it'll grow and grow and grow, expand, expand, expand. And then somebody sticks a pin in it, pop, it bursts. To show your emotions. Well, of course, we are all encouraged these days to show our emotions. Okay, you can show your emotions in different ways. You can cry, you can laugh, you can shout, you can scream, you can kick, you can jump, whatever you can want to do. You can show your emotions in many, many different ways. Look in the eyes and the reactions of football fans in a football match when the team is winning, losing, might win, might lose, and you look around and you see the different emotions in their faces. Some scream, some shout, some cry, some put their heads in their hands, they're afraid to look, but they show their emotions in many, many different ways. And everybody has a different way to express themselves. Everybody has a different way to show, to demonstrate their emotions. Okay? Show their emotions in different ways. Raw emotion. Well, something raw, like meat, is uncooked. And something, when your emotions are raw, they're really exposed. Okay? So his emotions are very raw because this has just happened. He only just received the news and he's not quite sure what his reaction should be. Perhaps he has got that all-important place in the university and he wasn't really expecting it, or he wasn't sure had he succeeded. But yeah, he's going to go to the university that he really wanted to. So his emotions are a little bit raw. The opposite might be true when somebody's emotions are really raw because they've got bad news and they're not really sure what they're going to do. His partner for many years walks out on him. His partner for many years dies, unfortunately. He loses his job. So sad events in our lives that happen from time to time leave us extremely vulnerable and very exposed. And in situations like that, our emotions are raw, they are exposed, and we're not always sure how we will react. So raw emotion, you might go through all of the feelings: happiness, sadness, tears, screaming, shouting. This is how these raw emotions are reflected. This is how we show them or identify them or demonstrate them. To be full of emotion, well, people can be full of emotions. Young kids, they don't know how to express themselves. They fall and they hurt themselves and not sure whether they should laugh or cry. Usually the first reaction is to cry and cry. And when you take their attention away from the hurt knee or the sprained wrist or the little bang on the finger, they forget about it. So yeah, they're full of emotion. And as soon as something happens, that emotion comes out in the form of tears and screaming. And then you have to try and distract them, take them away from it, and hope that they will relax. So they are full of emotion. A woman on her wedding day can be full of emotion. So these are times when we demonstrate those sort of emotions. And then finally, to be choked with emotion. Okay, and to be choked means you can hardly get the words out. we say you've got a lump in your throat, you're not able to express yourself. So it could be a few words that you have to say at an important event, like a burial of a parent or somebody else close to you, and you've been asked to say a few words, and the emotion gets the better of you and you're not really able to speak, and therefore you're almost choked, and it takes a while for those words to come out. You may be at a really, really happy event. If we go back to the wedding, you might be so happy that, again, you're not able to speak. Somebody asks how you're feeling. You're barely able to talk because the event is so happy. It's taking your breath away, and it's going to take you a little bit of time to express yourself. So to be choked with emotion. Okay, so they are collocations, and they are English collocations for emotions or with emotions. I hope you've enjoyed them. Try to practice them. Try to understand them. And if you have any problems, look and listen to it again. I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch up with you again soon.